So for our project, me, Oleg, and Chirag wanted to investigate why employees leave their companies prematurely. And in order to determine this, we used performance score from last employee evaluation as our response variable and average monthly hours as the explanatory variable. We think the best way to determine why employees leave their companies early is by looking at a linear model shown here, with the y-axis being last employee evaluation and the x-axis being average monthly hours. We ran the model in R and got this graph. And our equation turned out to be listed right there. Last performance evaluation equals 0.17 plus 0.0023 times average monthly hours. Our R squared equals 0.68, which means our model explains about 68% of the variation in the evaluation scores that employees receive. So in context, R squared indicates that there is a moderately strong positive relationship between evaluation score and average monthly hours. In addition, we observed a relatively small standard error of 0.11. This S value indicates the average distance that the observed values fall from the regression line, and that on average, our model will have an error of 0.11 for predicting employee evaluation scores. The smaller the S value, the better our model is at predicting response variables. This model makes sense contextually and logically. As the average monthly hours increase, employees gain more experience, and more experience leads to higher performance evaluation scores. And another good way to investigate why employees leave their companies prematurely is looking at a statistical inference. And our population is all of the employees who have left this company. The goal is to test and identify if there is a positive linear relationship between the average number of monthly hours an employee has worked and their last performance evaluation score. And here is the linear fit again. Our null hypothesis is there is no linear association between average number of monthly hours and last performance evaluation scores. And our alternative is there is a linear association between average number of monthly hours and the last performance evaluation scores. So we carried out a two-sided hypothesis test to determine whether or not the relationship exists between the explanatory and the response variables. Through our analysis, we reported a t-statistic of 78.29. Using 2 and 855 as our value for degrees of freedom. I'm sorry, 2,855 as our value for degrees of freedom. And we were able to deduce that we have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis at 0.05 significance level due to a p-value of less than 0.001. The p-value represents the probability of finding the observed results when the null hypothesis is true, and since our p-value is very small, there is a low probability of achieving the observed results. So therefore, we can conclude that there exists a relationship between the average number of hours worked per month and the score of the last performance evaluation. A key point is that we have evidence to prove that there exists a relationship between the variables, but we cannot conclude if the relationship is positive or negative based on this information. And using this same t-stat and degree of freedom, we were able to create a 95% confidence interval for the linear association between the average number of monthly hours and last performance evaluation scores. And we came up with, we are 95% confident that the mean slope describing the mentioned relationship is between 0.0025 and 0.0027.